Hello and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts. And my name is Caroline, and today we're going to be chatting about all kinds of things. You guys, it's been a minute since we've really listened to that. The crisp sound of a fresh DC on a Sunday morning. Obsessed.
What I will say is, why do these, every single one has the, like, in a 12 pack, they all have the same share this with.
Really? That's kind of
like
weird.
This box is all partner. Last 2 boxes I've had are all cis.
Whoa. Okay, interesting.
But also, a couple weeks ago, we mentioned it, and we were like, this is kind of reminiscent of the share with X name.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that
campaign,
is
and
what
now
it is.
It is what it is, because I bought a bottle the other day, and
Yeah.
it's back, which I like. It makes me, wait, is that a recession indicator?
Yes, it is. I keep seeing all this stuff that's like, we are bringing back this like nostalgia for that time. So many brands are doing it. It sells. It's just good.
I fear it's
like
working.
It's working, but I think it also is like a comfort thing. And right now, God, do we need it? God, if there's ever been a time that we need a little more comfort in the day-to-day, I think it's now. I think the time is nigh. And what I also want to say, though, is like, as much as I do love it, because it does give me like a little bit of a warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart when I do see that like share with whatever on a Diet Coke, I'm not sharing this with anybody. So stop asking. Like, I'm literally never going to share it. Right? Like, that's crazy. You can ask. You can ask. I'm going to say, get your own.
For sure.
And if you're in my house, there will be one for you. Like, I'm not a bad host.
But we're not sharing
That's
a
crazy.
Diet Coke.
I'm not sharing. Hell no. And don't give me the little one. Don't give me the little can.
No. That's crazy. People who buy those, get out of here.
Get out of here. And like, okay, that's fine for like a kid who you're just getting started on Diet Coke. Sure. For me,
I saw two TikToks, or maybe they were reels. 2 reels in a row that were like, talking about Diet Coke. They were like health influencers, which is always like, you never want to know what they're gonna say about Diet Coke.
No, I never want to know. And I'm also like, I don't believe anything you say anyway about it.
Well, they said that there's there's like a study now about like how much you would have to drink for it to cause damage.
And you're like, oh, I'm far past it. I'm far past the recommended amount.
They're like, you would have to drink like 48 cans every day.
They're like, you would have to drink 48 cans a year.
I'm like, ugh.
Check.
Yikes.
How many times? How many times do I have to drink 48 cans in 1 year?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, lots to discuss today. I do want to just say, if you haven't already, well, number one, you should go rate our podcast right now. That would really, really help us out. If you could go on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Oh my God, guys, the wonders it would do for us, it'd be huge. So thank you in advance. But then after that, you need to go like the collab post that the Pretty Little Podcast account and Phoebe Connell account posted on Instagram yesterday. Guys, I don't know if you can tell, it's got the magic touch. The magic touch being Caroline Connell's fingers are all freaking over it.
Yeah, thank God.
It's hilarious.
Thank God for that.
I literally, okay, so Phoebe goes to Chicago and I was like, can you send me the number of your friend who is going with you? And she was like, why? And I was like, send me. Okay, no. Okay, you're not going to question me. No. So she gives it to me and I text him. I'm like, hey, I'm like, so nice. I'm like, I just hear your marching orders. Like, I need photos of Phoebe because I am sick of only having photos of myself to post. I don't like taking photos of myself either. You guys, this might shock you, but I get cyberbullied by high schoolers when I do. So I was like, can Phoebe please take some of the heat off me for 1 second? Everything is like, you know, whatever. So I was like, I need pictures. And Bobby did such a good job. He was sending me like dozens of photos every day of the trip. It was so sweet. It was so great. The photos were adorable. And then Phoebe,
was?
Yes.
I didn't know he was sending you pictures. That's so funny.
Yes. Like every morning it was like he would send me like whatever pictures he got from like
you
the
probably
day
have
before.
more pictures than I have.
And then he was like, it'd be easier on Snap. Are you there? And then I was like, I haven't logged on Snap in months, but like I will for you. And I didn't. So I don't know if he did, but because I don't even know if we're friends on Snap. So I don't think he said anything. But anyway, and then Phoebe was gatekeeping the brat picture. So I didn't have the brat pictures. And then Phoebe's like, I was like, I'm going to post it. We'll do a collab, whatever, which I always think Phoebe's like kind of embarrassed to do. I always think you're like reluctant about it.
Well, it depends on what it is.
Well, you're going to have to get over it, by the way, because now that I'm your social media manager, I'm going to make you do it more. But Phoebe was like, well, I was just kind of hoping that like you would just like make a post and like I could just collab with it and then it's just done. Oh, and then I find out she tells her friends I'm her curator. Oh,
Well, I didn't use that word. But on that trip, I was like, it's kind of nice because like I know that Caroline will want there to be a Chicago post from this trip. So, and then it's like I don't have to, because that like I get so like I never want to post on Instagram because it's
Me
so
too.
much work, and
Yep.
I never post. So it's also like it like takes a lot of courage.
It does.
Also,
I'm trying
I
to
do think when you're
get better
someone who
about
doesn't
that.
post, and this is like meta fuck you, I think when you are someone who doesn't post, when you do post, they don't put that in anyone's feed.
I mean, it's a little more exposure to do the collab. No, but I was just having this conversation with someone. I was like, I put all this effort into the podcast Instagram and very little into my own because it is so like great. Well, if I only post once a month, it's like frequently. But if I only post, every now and then it's like, it just feels like it makes a bigger splash than I really want it to. I don't want this to be like my re-entrance to Instagram. I'm just trying to share a bit of my life. Like, I don't need this to be like, oh my God, she posted, you know what I mean? So then I'm like, you do have to kind of have like a little bit more of a regular schedule to avoid the she's returned to Instagram moment. But also, I was like, what am I doing, Caroline? Here's the deal. You're putting all this effort into this podcast page, but like you also want this, so you need to do it on your own. And so I'm, very bravely collaborating with more posts. I'm going to make you do it too. When it makes sense, when it is a reel that like it would be, you wouldn't feel weird about it. And then you can hide it. You can literally hide it from your grid. So when someone's looking at your grid, they don't see that. They still see like your curated shit, but it would still be in your reels. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway. The point is, I want to make it more casual. I think we need to make Instagram more casual again. Like, I see famous people posting very casually. Why is it the regular old Joes who don't feel like they can just, like, post an uncurated photo dump?
I need, as soon as I pay off this computer that I'm speaking to you through, I think it is time for me to get a new phone.
Really?
Because that, for me, is part of why I never take any pictures. Is because
that's true.
My camera is shattered. So,
but I also think
sucks.
Again, I don't know how to do it yet. So if you guys have any tips, let me know. But I do want to make Instagram more casual. Like I want my page to feel more casual.
I mean, a lot of people in my feed
do it that way.
Do that, yeah.
And I'm like,
Not
the more
just
casual
influencers.
it is, the less frightening it is to post.
We used to just post literally anything.
Well, I didn't. Let's be clear. I used to go on photo shoots every day. Like my friends and I would, because I was trying to do what I like am doing now. Me trying to like be a personality in the year 2016, 2017 was me like taking pictures, posting every day, like doing all the stuff. Me actually being somewhat of a personality is me doing the opposite of that.
No, but at that in those years,
Instagram
had already become Instagram. I mean, like in the early aughts of Instagram, you used to take a picture of your coffee from Starbucks, slap the sepia tone,
so true,
and post it, and like just
slap
hashtags.
on a little Kelvin. Yeah, no, it's true. Hashtag Java.
Or like then when things started to get a little bit more serious,
hashtag Starbucks.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna saturate this picture as much as I can, sharpen.
Yes.
Do the drop.
Let me bring out the reds. Let me bring out the blues. You know what I mean? We're going for like that bright coastal sort of thing. Yeah. No, I know. There were the picnic days, PICNIK. Do you remember that? I think it was a little bit before your time, but I was very much.
I had friends who used it. I was more. What did I use? Instasize always, because it used to be such a trend to like have the white space around your pictures.
Or have the picture in like a star. In the shape of a
because it used
star.
to have to be like on Instagram, every picture was the same shape.
Yeah,
like you couldn't just post any picture, and
it's been like that for like a week. Now, I mean the way it is now, that now they let you post whatever you want and they'll make it fit. It's only been doing that for like a week.
Really?
Yes. It's maybe tops a month. Like it's brand new.
What?
No,
Phoebe. I don't mean the real thing. They've been doing this because I stopped using Instasize when they stopped doing it. It's been a while.
What are you talking
about?
Like
you can just you can just
talking
post
about
like a landscape picture.
But you can't not in the
picture you want.
No, I know. Not in the same dump though. I thought you meant like now in a carousel you can do different sizes.
Yeah.
which is crazy. But I don't really
It's
like
so
how it
nice.
looks.
It doesn't look good, but it is easier.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, that's just what I think about Instagram. And Phoebe and I literally put together, I was like, she sends me the pictures. I'm like, okay, I need some B-roll. I need some pics of things, of people, of places. Okay,
That's why
Can
I
you
need
send
the new
those to
phone.
me?
Because like
Yeah.
all the pictures of me were taken on other people's phones.
Well, here's the deal. Here's what you need to be doing. And maybe you're doing this. Every time I go on a trip with my friends, we get a shared album and we put every single photo we took the entire time. And
I tried.
And then
I
you can
tried
use
to do
other
that.
people's B-roll if you want.
I made a shared album.
Because
Not a
sometimes
lot of
other
group
people take a
participation.
picture of the drinks better than you do, and then you can just use theirs because it's So you just have to train them. My group and I have been taking trips together for like 5 years now. Now we're good at it, but like the first few years, it was a little rocky, I would say.
Right.
There were some times that it didn't just come together, but we did always have the album because Matthew was there. I mean, we weren't going to have Matthew on the trip and not have a shared album. That's insane. So anyway, I also want to talk about how I went to Chili's on Friday and it absolutely sucked.
That's tough.
I drove 30 minutes away for this. It was like this thing because I don't think I've ever been to one. We talked about it on the Patreon. So if you don't know about this, I went to Chili's with Kelly and Anthony on Friday. We had to wait 30 minutes and there was a craft store in like the strip mall in the area. So we just like went in there and walked around to kill time for a little bit. And then we came back and like just everything was just gross. Our stomachs hurt so bad after. The chicken tenders, okay, got them. The fries were good. They were like those fries that we used to get from like all those chain restaurants with like the big pepper flakes. You know what I mean? Those ones, pretty good. So that was good, and the honey mustard was good. The chicken tenders, they were good, but they were so weirdly shaped, and there were some parts that were just much too thick. You know what I mean? And then I got a weird bite. And you know when you get a weird bite, it's actually over. I'm not eating another thing on this plate. I got a weird bite.
Yeah.
When you
That's
bite into
tough,
the
that's
chicken
tough.
and it sort of bounces back. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally. Did Anthony and Kelly enjoy their meal?
Not real. I mean, kind of, but we were all like, okay, check. Like we never need to venture out of our like.
It would be
radius
different
to
if
go
there
to
was a
this.
Chili's where the Applebee's
If
is.
we had a neighborhood Chili's, I probably would have already been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was not the spot. It was not the spot. And we just, none of us were really that thrilled with it, honestly. And then the next day we had to do the wellness checks in the group chat. Like, how's everyone's stomach, you know? So, if you have to do that, the meal was dicey, kind of.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
fair.
And I wasn't the one who sent the text. So, anyway,
Ah.
just wanted to report back on my Chili's experience. I know you were waiting with bated breath to hear about
I
it.
was. It's unfortunate you didn't love it because I do like a Chili's visit.
I know. I mean, it's not like I'll never go again, but I would never like travel. It would never be the destination. It would just be a stop along the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the Lorde tour. Where are we going? Because I was like, I'll come to Nashville, and you were like, well, she's coming to Pittsburgh. And then I was like, will you come to Pittsburgh? And you never really answered that.
Well, I
Guys,
don't
Lorde is
know
going
yet.
on tour. It's the Virgin Tour. Girl, you are not fooling anyone.
And
This
it's so
X-ray
I
of
love
your
how
uterus.
she's posting like all this stuff about what virgin means other than like being a
Hey,
virgin.
we
and
know
I'm
what
like,
virgin
girl,
means.
If you didn't want us to think that the album Virgin, like if you didn't want us all to think virginity, then like you
Don't name
shouldn't
it
have named
virgin
it
and don't put your
Virgin.
uterus on the. If you wanted to name your album Virgin, then you really should have been a virgin. You really should have thought about being a virgin when you did this. Sorry, you should have done it when you were 16.
Who's the slut now?
Who's
Ella?
the splendiferent slut now, Ella? Two things about Ella. Number one, does she join our Patreon as a free member? Because these voice notes, I'm like, okay, it's giving me. I need to be doing it. If I could text you guys directly, the frequency would be amped the fuck up. Okay?
I love how she sent that one. It was like after shower thoughts,
And then she was like,
immediately
"Oh,
after she was like,
also."
wait, another thing.
Yeah, and I was like, that is just so. I do feel like,
But
we're
I will
friends.
say I stopped listening to them after we
I
got the
did
single
too.
and like got a bunch confirmed because I was like,
Yeah.
sometimes she gives aria.
She's not like, and this isn't a dig, but she's not like a funny person. And I kind of feel like unless you're a funny person, your voice notes should be listened to on 2 times speed. Do you know about this? Oh, Phoebe, I'm about to change everything for you and anyone listening who doesn't already know about this. Okay, are you ready? Did you know that you can listen to voice notes on 2 times speed?
No, how would you do that?
It's
you
new.
hold down on it.
Yes, if you hold down on play when somebody sends you a 5-minute voice note, like I
Oh, that's awesome.
frequently do, you can hold it down and you can choose the speed with which to play it.
That's so much better because I was like, sometimes if Caroline sends me like a 5-minute voice note, I'll just read the transcript.
Yeah, and what kills me though is like sometimes I'll send her a 5-minute voice note that's like all about business, and I will never get a single answer to any of the questions that I've asked her. And then like I'll text her and ask her, I've been asking you when we can have like a branding discussion for actually 6 months now. So now that you're live on the air, like can we fucking schedule that? I'm dead serious.
Yes, we can, but
pick a day
probably
this
not
week right now.
I can't do this
Dude.
week. But I'll be in Atlanta the week after, and I can do that.
Okay, no, right now, pick a day and a time right now.
I can't do that right now.
Don't yell at me. I've been asking you for 6 months.
I know, but like I don't know. I can't pick a date and a time in this exact moment right now.
I've texted you within the last week. I have.
About branding?
Yeah. Okay, you
I
don't get
will
to be
find
mad.
a date.
You have literally no reason. I haven't yelled at you about it until now, and I've been asking you for months. So please.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying I can't find a time at this moment.
Anyway, you can leave all that in if you want. Or not. I don't care. Okay. So back to the Lord tour. That's number one. I think that she took our idea and sending voice notes, and if I could do it as quickly as she is, I would be doing it more. And then number two, what I want to say is totally forgot it. Actually totally forgot it. Went out of my head. Now Phoebe's mad at me, so I'm gonna have to like warm her back up and get back into her good graces now for some fucking reason. I'm gonna have to grovel now. Anyway, I want to go in Pittsburgh. Why don't you want to go in Pittsburgh?
Well, it's not that I don't want to. No. Caroline, that is such a massive like jump to be like, oh, so you don't want to go together?
Well, that's what I just realized in my head, because you were like, well, I don't know if I'm going in Nashville or Pittsburgh, and I was like, but you told me to go in Pittsburgh. Because I offered to go in Nashville.
The only
so now I'm like,
reason,
no, she doesn't want to go.
The only reason, no, that's not it. But the venue where it is in Nashville, I'm trying to source my connections at the moment to see if I don't have to pay for tickets. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, a free show. You don't have to pay for art. Okay.
Yeah,
the arts are suffering, by the way. The arts are suffering, by the way, everyone. Hey, check on your artist friends. Because the arts are pretty much going to be like a censored word soon, I think.
But yeah, I mean, I would like to go to Pittsburgh, but I just like, I don't know. I can't plan that far ahead right now.
Ain't that the truth? Don't I know that? Guys, okay. I don't want to waste any more time before we talk about Taylor being subpoenaed. Oh, Phoebe.
Like, worst day of my life.
Phoebe sends me the news. The breaking news, which I think is hilarious. She sends me the Apple News update. It says breaking: Taylor Swift subpoenaed and Blake Lively lawsuit. I literally was like, no.
And that's probably also the reaction of Ryan and Blake when they realized this was going to have to happen, because they were like, well, that friendship is over.
I mean,
that friendship's out the window.
I mean, and it's not because Taylor is going to want to stop being your friend, honestly. It's because Tree's going to say, sorry, Tay, I run the show.
But
Blake's
also
off limits.
It could be but I mean, bit like, really, I have to be. I gave you the rights to my song for this film. That I love how in the press release that
I didn't even see it until it was out for a few
weeks after.
Wait, let's read the statement. So, guys, for those of you who do not know, there was a looming threat of Taylor Swift potentially being subpoenaed for Blake Lively's
Me and Caroline were like, but it
lawsuit.
won't happen.
And we were also like, but it can't happen because. And not because of the incriminating things that, like, I'm sure will be found, but more so just the things we'll now have to defend as Swifties. Because think about the way that you text your friends privately, okay? I was talking to Kelly. I was like, Kelly, I mean, just imagine if, like, I got really famous. And I was thinking, imagine you were also famous. And then we had this big thing, and I was embroiled in some drama. And, like, you got subpoenaed, and all of our texts from the last year had to be pulled out, and she goes, well, what does that mean? What can we see? I said, everything, Kelly. She goes, well, what if she deletes them? I said, Kelly, no. There is like they're gonna get it from the server. Nothing's deleted ever. Like, and this is the best way, actually. So many kids are gonna learn the lesson that nothing online is ever deleted through this. So
I
thank you,
hope.
Taylor, for making your way into the history books yet again.
Okay, we're in the spin room. Okay, we're in the spin room.
Okay, Tree, you need to call us. Here's my phone number.
Did you see that Brian Friedman kind of threw around the idea of doing the trial in like an arena and selling tickets?
Wait, no, I did not see this. What?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on this? Is this real?
I don't have. I mean, I'll Google it really quickly. I just saw a TikTok of. I'm the only finger I have on this pulse is of that one girl that Caroline never knows who I'm talking about, and that's fine. But it's this girl named Sarah. She has like really curly, black hair. She's Canadian. She always is carrying a baby, and she's pretty objective, but she is leaning Team Blake.
I thought you were about to say she's pretty.
No, oh my god. Okay, Brian Friedman. Okay, this is People magazine. Justin Baldoni's lawyer wants to sell tickets to Blake Lively's deposition for this reason.
What is the reason?
He said, since Miss Lively is open to testifying, let's make it count. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, tells People, hold the deposition at MSG, sell tickets or stream it, and donate every dollar to organizations helping victims of domestic abuse. What an asshole.
Okay, I mean, go for it then. Isn't that the whole point of Blake's lawsuit?
Friedman also confirmed that Baldoni will take the stand at the eventual trial, which is scheduled for March 2026, and will not have cameras present inside. Oh,
okay.
So his testimony gets to be behind closed doors, but you want to sell tickets to Blake's?
Yeah, but not his.
Huh. That seems interesting.
I'm gonna ask for both.
Like, yeah, I want
to
be. If Justin's case is so like rock solid, he can do it in front of a camera.
Yeah,
he loves attention.
Exactly. That's really gonna piss me off.
So do you, Brian. By the way, Brian, you only are ever in front of a camera.
Everyone involved does, and I do think this is a little bit of like a grab, because here's the deal. What's going to happen at this moment is, okay, Taylor Swift's texts get leaked. Not leaked, they get published, and people start pouring through them, and they start finding every little moment where Blake and Taylor look like mean girls. Or
like, what if they have said stuff about like people we have worried
they have
talked about, like Selena. What if it's Taylor complaining about Blake? Like, because I mean, we all know that we literally have all complained about our other friends to our friends.
It's complaining about your partners. It's complaining about the people that you work with. I'm sorry, but if you were to go read my text with Phoebe, I'm sure I've complained about people that I've worked with before.
And
that
sorry,
like
if Blake's reality is her reality in her brain, which I tend to believe, her version of events, then like obviously she's like getting off work and texting her best friend and being like this fucking creep like he's doing. And to me, hey, Mr. Baldoni, that's damning. I don't know if I want like the in time texts of Blake coming home from work and like talking to Taylor and being like,
I think what he thinks he's gonna get are texts of Blake being like, and I'm gonna plot this. No, I think he thinks it's gonna be like her scheming. And the fact of the matter is, Taylor, as her statement says, which I'll read in a second, had nothing to do with this movie, has nothing to do with this case. So like, why the fuck would your text with Taylor be subpoenaed other than the fact that she's a close friend? It's a little bit ridiculous, but here's the thing. If a bunch of people online who aren't tuned into this case or who are sick of it or have case fatigue find out that they can read Taylor Swift's texts, and the person who got those texts for them was Brian Friedman, was Justin Baldoni. And we already know that as soon as this comes into like this media circus, a lot of people are skewing pro Baldoni. So I think it's a risk he's willing to take, knowing that those texts will come out and it will make people more involved in the case, which has shown that they become more pro Baldoni.
Even if there aren't texts that are like, I'm gonna do all of this to take Justin Baldoni down, which I don't think those texts exist.
No.
If I'm
sorry,
wrong,
I don't
then
think
I'm wrong,
Taylor Swift is that dumb. I don't think Taylor Swift has on her cell phone, she's texting evil plots. No, I don't either, but I'm also like, I would hope that somebody who's existed in this arena for so long, somebody like Taylor, somebody like Blake, I really hope that they have like, that they're having those, Taylor Swift, you're having those conversations in person, right? Because you of all people know.
Or on Signal.
What is
Signal
that?
Chat. That's the group chat app.
Can it not be traced or like?
Well, that's it's like what that's what Pete, Hegseth, and all of them were using to share war plans.
Oh, so it's extremely dangerous
and
liable.
No, what I'm saying is that app is like meant for the press and DC to use to share more confidential information. So
yeah,
like for
what I'm
Taylor and
thinking.
Blake, that's what you use Signal for. You don't use it for war plans.
I'm like, we're not using the iCloud, right? Like we're not just like texting and backing it up to the cloud, right? If we're Taylor Swift.
I think that the real thing that they are probably banking on, if the plotting isn't in the text, is they know that it'll do what they've been doing, and they just want to make Blake seem like a mean girl. And it doesn't really matter if she wins in court.
That's where I'm going to struggle, because people are going to say, well, look how nasty she was in texts. And like, that doesn't mean, again, that isn't a crime punishable by sexual harassment. And that also doesn't mean that like she is deserving. She's probably has said fucking nasty stuff.
It's also like glass houses. Like it's like
lots of people have. I mean, we read all your texts, Justin. Like you were saying crazy shit about Blake. Like, and so were a lot of your team. And so like, and frankly, your team was saying a lot of crazy shit about you also. Like, so I don't know what we're going to see here. I wonder if he thinks we're going to see a text where it's like, hey, can you come over to my apartment? Justin's coming over and I want you to pressure him to use my script. Like, is it going to be things like that?
That's what I'm seeing a lot of comments about. A lot of people are like, well, are we gonna see a text where Taylor gets invited over to like confront, to sit there while Ryan and Blake berate
I know.
poor Justin?
I feel like what we're going to see is we're going to see Taylor saying, hey, I have some toys for the girls. I'm going to come drop them off this morning. Is that cool? And Blake's like, yeah, but I have a meeting at this time. So just like, if you don't mind clearing out by then. And then like they happen to cross paths.
They're going to be like, see?
Yeah.
See?
And then
They
Taylor's like,
plotted it.
I would love to meet Justin. Like, I'll just stay until he gets here. And then be like, oh my God, the work you're doing is amazing. I love Blake's script. Like, I like in my mind, that's what happened. But maybe I don't know. But the other side of this is like just taking Blake out of it as a Swiftie. I don't want to know how she texts.
No, I don't want it either.
I don't need to know.
Even in a mean girl way. I don't want to know how she
No.
punctuates. I don't want to know the
I don't want to know the
emoji
emoji she
uses. I don't wanna know any
uses.
of it.
I don't want to know.
I know
I
she
don't want to
sends
know
GIFs. I know
the
that
jokes
for a
that
fact.
she tells. Like, I don't want
I'm also
them.
like, how much are we gonna get? Because when we got the initial like lawsuits, like we got texts, but it was pretty like sifted through, and we got only what they wanted us to see.
But then
So
we got the full versions too. The full versions are out there.
No. But I mean, like, are we gonna get the entire backlog of every conversation
yes.
they've ever had?
Because the thing is, I believe once it is part of this, it is public. Like once it is in unless it is, again, I guess, like, a private record. But typically, like if it's like being submitted as evidence, we should be able to see it, I think. Maybe not. But I think, I mean,
know.
if it's included in lawsuits, I think the point is we are going to get to see a lot of these. And that's what he wants.
Well, that's
because if
definitely
we
what
weren't
they
going to get
want.
to see them, they never would have subpoenaed her for these
I
texts.
agree.
He needs
and we
the
saw
court
it.
of public
we saw
opinion.
that in the beginning. They've been bringing Taylor into this since the beginning of the campaign. Before
I'm
going
going
to
to read
illegal
her
lawsuit.
statement.
Also, I just am so scared that even if Blake wins in court, nobody is going to take that decision seriously. And
that's 100%
it's not going to be enough for people.
I think we are going to very much see what we saw from the Johnny and Amber trials. I think it's going to be a very similar type of thing. And it's just going to be very disheartening. Like, I think it is. And I am so comfortable saying this and pissing off whoever it pisses off. Like, and this is my opinion. I'm not saying it for Phoebe, but like Johnny Depp should rot in hell. I'm sorry. I can't get past the mentality of the public that is, we are so eager to like get to save a man. Like we're so eager to have something that doesn't even have to absolve a man, but that makes him look a little bit like a victim, because we don't want to lose a man. We are so quick to look for anything that like brings down a woman. And what we saw there was like Amber and Johnny were two crazy fucking people, and they were two abusive people. But to say that he was not an abuser is actually asinine. And I'm sorry, you sound stupid, because it was proven. We have texts, we have audio recordings, we have video recordings, we have photos. We know that he was an abuser. We also know
he's
that
allowed
she
to be called one in England. Yes,
exactly. And the fact of the matter is, it's like, he still gets to work, and there are people who are like standing outside of the courtroom with signs like, we love you, Johnny, understanding that he physically beat this woman to a pulp. They know that. And they're still holding the signs because it turns out she beat him too. And so now it's crazy to me. Like, and that's what
And
this is gonna be.
and it's the same thing. Obviously, Justin Baldoni's not on the same level as Johnny Depp at all. Like, not even in the same stratosphere. But the behavior and the people, it's very interesting. The people who are able to see the nuance and lean more pro Amber or pro Blake, it's not because they worship the ground that either of them walk on. I'm not an Amber Heard fan. I'm not really a Blake Lively fan. But I just can see what's happening. But the difference is that the fans of these men are like, they look like Manson girls. Like, they look like the people camped out of, like, fucking Ted, but they are so, like, enamored and, like, under a spell of these weird fucking guys. Like, it's strange. And so, sorry, I don't take you as seriously because the way that you guys act in comments, it's like a personal attack on you for me to point out something that's weird about him.
Well, it's crazy. Like, he doesn't know you exist. He does not know you exist.
Exactly.
And, like, just it's just so, like, either you know and you're ignoring the truth, or you don't know and you're uneducated and then you shouldn't talk about it. I remember seeing a video of an influencer that I know personally going to the courthouse and standing outside and being like, Johnny, I love you, and getting, like, millions of likes and views. And I was like, that's insane.
Another thing that everybody has to be aware of consuming this content is the content that does well is being it's a big conversation that's happening right now in terms of the way that people spoke about the election in November, of, like, where are these people now who had a lot to say, and now they're not speaking up about certain things that are happening because of decisions that were made then. It's like, these people are making content that does well, and the Justin Baldoni content is engaged with positively. So be aware of that.
And it's also, it's being boosted, and we know
been
for a fact that, like, we know for a fact that the Friedman Baldoni team is paying to have these videos circulate more.
Numbers. I don't really remember what kind of number it was, but it basically matched it was identical to what was happening with Johnny and Amber.
Wow.
Like bots, like the bot
I think
ratio.
It's very similar, and it's a shame. Like, because here's the deal: like, if we're saying that it's okay to physically, beat and hurt and abuse the person that you're in a relationship with, then I guess, and you all believe that Amber Heard did this, then I guess that she should also be allowed to still work. Right. Like, like, you should have said, okay, both Johnny and Amber get to have a career still, and they get to have life. I mean, maybe she chose to move and get away from this because she wanted to. Like, I wouldn't blame her. But I do just think the hypocrisy is astounding, and it's so infuriating when you try to talk to people and they can't see it. And it's just like, and I think it's telling that a lot of the people that were pro Depp are also pro Baldoni. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence. And again, like, I'm sort of checked out of this now. I don't know any, like, new things that have been brought up, really. Like, I'm kind of checked out. But when this does go to trial, if it ends up going, I think we'll probably cover it. I think we have to. I think it's going to be something. And we're going to try to be biased. But, like, the fact of the matter is, this is my, we're going to try to be unbiased. But the fact of the matter is, this is our stance today. And, like, it might not change.
But it also might.
It might change.
We're willing to say that. Because you remember in the beginning, Caroline was very gung-ho Team Blake. And now she's a little more in the gray area. Not that you're not Team Blake, but, like, you're a little more, like, it might not be as cut and dry as we thought it was.
Yeah. I don't think that she made this up. So that's, like, one thing. I just, the things that I'm less pro Blake about are, like, I just don't believe that, like, this is all a lie. I just really don't believe that. So that's where I think, but the fact of the matter is, there are some things that are question marks, but same for him. And, like, we don't all have to be firmly planted on one side. We can kind of, like, adopt the hats of both and see what we think, whatever. Okay, here's Taylor Swift's statement, her rep statement. to Good Morning America. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release and was traveling around the globe during 2023 and 2024, headlining the biggest tour in history. The connection Taylor had to this film was permitting the use of one song, My Tears Ricochet. Given that her involvement was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did, this document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case. Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Sarowitz, and team continue to turn a case of sexual harassment and retaliation into entertainment for the tabloids, going as far as suggesting that they sell tickets to a concert venue, Madison Square Garden, to witness Miss Lively's deposition, to subpoenaing Taylor Swift, a woman who has given a voice to millions the world over. Oh, wait, sorry, that was a spokesperson for Lively. I could tell I was no longer reading Tree's words.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a statement from Tree.
Tree is writing that, like, bottle of Sauvignon Blanc chilling in the fridge. She is type, fuming. Steam coming out of her ears.
She is fuming. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I mean, I'm a little excited, but I'm
just
so
so glad Tree's are
So anyway.
Like, thank God for Tree Payne. You know what?
Thank
Next
God.
time we get a president who I enjoy, get Tree the Medal of Freedom. Get Tree the Medal of Freedom.
Thank you. Well, let's move on to some lighter fodder, maybe. Emmy, Sherritt, and Will, whatever his last name is, from Southern Hospitality are engaged. I didn't see this coming for one freaking second.
No.
And here's what I have to say to this. Will, you know you didn't have to do that.
She would have stayed.
You did not have to do that. So why did you? Maybe they really are in love. Maybe they really want to be married. I believe it for her.
I believe they want to be married.
I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You seem so miserable. And then, like, you know this is going to have to be documented on the show, which you famously, like, might not even be on because
I just
you
would
didn't show up for the
never want
reunion.
one of my friends to marry someone who wouldn't come out on that reunion and sit with her. Like, if Emmy Sherritt was my friend, I'd be like, Emmy. He let you sit there.
The Viall Files doesn't count.
He let you sit there and have a room of like 12 people berate you and yell at you and answer for his behavior while he was there
in the building.
He was watching it happen.
Like, that's what's
crazy.
And
he didn't think, I need to go out there because Emmy is actually like, I mean, that was a really sad reunion to watch because she was like physically shaking. I thought she was going to like have a real breakdown. And Will did
And I wouldn't
nothing.
have blamed her if she did. No, he did absolutely nothing. And like, I will say I listened to them on the Viall Files. I've seen some things they've done since. And like, they do seem to be on the same page in some of these
interviews. They're
interviews.
definitely living in the same reality when they're together.
Yeah, like I think so too. I mean, the videos she posts to were like he's doing his baby voice and shit. And like,
it's just,
I feel like she constantly is videotaping him when he's not aware of it because she's like, no, guys, look, like he's goofy. He would never act like this if the cameras were up. But if I put the camera behind the couch and he doesn't know it's filming him, and I offer him a bite of pizza and I feed it to him, he will say, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone will be like, oh my God, he has a heart.
Yeah. But my issue with them, and I couldn't even get through the whole Viall Files interview because what bothers me about Will especially, but he's like, Emmy doubles down on it and is like, see, like everything Will says, is that Will is so defensive. He's an answer for everything. And he's just like, and when he's in an environment where he's not being challenged, he can be like, and see, and like, it's like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but we all watched it. Like, it's weird that you go to a law school that's like an hour and a half away from where your girlfriend lives. And there's a rumor that there's a girl living with you there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's weird. And also your answer for it, a better lie would probably just be like, yeah, I have a girl roommate. Yeah. Should we split the rent? I don't know.
Well, do you think he lied? Do you think what he said was a lie?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. There's not a rumor that a girl's living at your house if she's only staying there for like a night.
Oh, wait. Did you watch the Viall Files thing?
What did he say on the Viall Files that was different than the show?
Just because he was talking about how it was like a mutual friend that they had, Emmy and Will.
Yes.
And this was like a different situation. And it was like she was, I think, like leaving a bad situation or something. And she was moving into his apartment building. And she couldn't move in until like the weekend after or whatever. And Emmy and Will were on a trip. And so he was like, well, why don't you just like put whatever you need to put in my place and you can stay there in the same building until you move in. And like that's
No, that feels a lot
he wasn't
better.
even
But
there.
I feel like on the show,
And I'm like, that just
wasn't
it
he-
just seems like a non-issue where like they could turn it into this big thing, but then oftentimes I feel like the truth is pretty boring, and that's just like not what we want. Like we just like
yeah, and it's
don't
not
want-
what
and not
it's-
that I'm not
It's
defending
not
him.
what
I'm just like
what the
you know.
TJ and
yes.
what's the other guy's name?
TJ Michaels.
Yes, it's not what
It's
they
not
want.
what they want. Although they were commenting on the People exclusive, so happy for them.
This
And
season could be really. I mean, it's gonna be amazing.
I wasn't sure if they were going to be returning to the show, and I wonder if they were like, look, we need a storyline, and so they were like, let's get engaged. I don't
When
know.
would they start
I
filming,
did
like,
think
July?
it was. I guess
They're
sometime
like a
this summer.
summer
I mean,
show.
if we don't get it, I can't wait for the wedding content from Emmy Sherritt. I mean, and one thing I love about Emmy is she's a glam girl. Like she will be like not glam, but then when she does glam, she does full
It's
fucking
so
glam
funny
the way that
'cause it's
I like
her
it.
personality doesn't change, but it looks like
doesn't
two
give
different
that.
people. Like when you see her at work,
It looks like
and she's
two
just, like,
different people.
like especially like daytime work when she doesn't really have makeup on.
Yes.
It's like but she gives like, you know, like, and I mean this in a good way. She looks like a regular girl, you know.
She looks like a regular laid back
Yes,
beach town
exactly.
girl. And then you put her in the full, but that's like, I love that because it's like you put her, she loves the full glam and she looks fierce with it. Like I
Totally.
love it. But one thing I think is that I was kind of surprised by the People exclusive. I was like, okay, wow, we're already there.
Okay, we're
already
still,
getting a People
like,
exclusive.
we didn't even get a reunion outside of the clubhouse, and we're People
I
exclusive.
know, but we're getting People exclusives for this. Imagine what happens when Maddie and Joe get engaged. Oh my God, we're gonna get a Vogue exclusive if this is where the bar is. But I just think I need to make a case for like why are we submitting Facetune photos for the People
Yeah.
exclusive?
I thought that too.
You had that moment too, like
Mhm.
the one that's like just her face, and it's really. I was just like,
Especially 'cause
this
she
just doesn't-
looks
like you're
so
such
good
a
in
pretty
glam.
girl, and you already look so elevated and so different in the glam. You don't then need to also
It's
do
giving like Meredith Marks.
that. Oh my God! Wait, speaking of, I just saw a photo of Meredith and Lisa that was taken on a trip that they're on
In
right
Greece?
now. Yeah, did you see the
No.
photo? It's like I mean, if it's still on the internet, I will be shocked. I will be shocked if they have not scoured it from the internet. Like it, they just have no filters. The lighting isn't good. They like, I think they've been traveling. Like they look tired. They look their age. They look beautiful, but they don't look like whoever's face we're using
Right.
on Instagram, Meredith. Like Meredith, are you seeing the comments? Do you like the engagement? Is somebody telling you the engagement is good?
Brooks.
Is somebody else is Brooks face tuning your photos and then posting them because you need to fire him if so. And also, by the way, I can't wait to watch Next Gen.
I know. I'm excited for it. I think.
Okay. Tell me more.
But we do need, like, I was thinking about that today. Like, it feels like when Vanderpump ended. Not that anything's
Yeah.
like ended, but I just feel like we're kind of in a drought of like great Bravo
Yeah.
TV. And maybe I'll feel resurged
I
when Southern
agree.
Hospitality comes on, but like Summer House is like kind of. I mean, it's great. I enjoy watching it when it's on, but it's not like what it.
You know
once
what I would
was.
love? So obviously there was like a statement basically that came out that said RHONY is
Yeah.
canceled, but then Andy Cohen commented and said, no, it isn't. And
Lindsay,
apparently they're still, dude, get
because
Lindsay
we need
fucking Hubbard
we
on
need
RHONY.
Lindsay in an environment where she can be a mature version of her activated self. She can't do that in Summer House.
Yes.
She needs to
It
be
just-
at
it-
adult events where she can get activated.
Yes.
Like the other house.
That's her version of the Valley. You know, that's what she has.
And I think that there's
that
a
graduation.
world where the other people from Summer House go there too. And we
I think Paige
and we
well,
start maybe more of Lexi's friends start coming through the Summer House.
coming into Summer House. We need a younger crew. I would absolutely die for Lindsay Hubbard on RHONY. She's made it clear that she would happily make the transition if they want her. I think they might have been waiting to see what the discourse was after
Jessie
this Summer House season.
said that there was, because they're saying there's like a big like thing that happens at the reunion, and I wonder if maybe there's some sort of announcement. They said no one
Maybe.
saw it
That
coming.
would be great.
So I wonder.
Well, then that probably isn't this.
Well, I mean,
because
but
I
they
feel
might have
lots
been
of
like
people saw that
it might have,
coming.
but for them they
Maybe.
would have been like, especially if Lindsay hadn't.
Well, and that
said
would make
anything.
sense with that statement because West made that statement that was like, "No, Lindsay's not coming back next year." Like,
But
she
then
shouldn't
Lindsay
be
was
coming back.
pissed.
But Lindsay fired back. She was like, "How dare you?" So I don't know. I mean, what I do know is Lindsay belongs on my television
Yeah.
screen. She belongs in
I
reality
loved
TV.
Lindsay this
she
season.
belongs in New York.
She
I've
has been
absolutely loved
so.
her.
I love when
And
she's
frankly,
goofy.
I love when she's goofy, and I love when she's activated.
Yes.
Like, as long as she's not activated against a character that I feel defensive of,
I'm
like,
so ready for
I'm loving
next
it.
week when she says, Carl, it's the anniversary of when we broke up, and I just want to thank
Crazy.
you for getting me to my dream life, basically. And I also
She
see
is
Carl
so
have these
funny.
conversations with the guys where he's like, yeah, I mean, she's still totally not over me. I'm like, Carl, Carl, she's
She
over
is
you.
fully growing another human inside her body. You can take one look at her and say, "Oh,
And
she's
even
over
if
you."
she wasn't,
oh, is that Carl's baby? No, okay.
and even if she wasn't,
As soon as that baby comes out of her, she
no,
will
but I
be.
mean, even if she wasn't pregnant, she's
Oh.
over you.
She's over you. She's got the ick. She had the ick when you were together. She was gonna see it through. You set her free. She still has the ick. Like, it just is what it is. Yeah, I would love to see her on RHONY. That would just be such fun television. I do also want to say, like, we are approaching the precipice of getting a lot of really great TV again. So it's this cycle,
Right. And
you
we're
know. But we're
also-
about to enter.
They announced they announced the Rhode Island Housewives.
Rhode Island, yes, which apparently is a contender for like one of the
I'm
top
excited.
ones right now. We're getting into summer, which is great because of the following reasons. Big Brother, and I know what you're thinking. No, I haven't heard, so I'm guessing they're saving me for next season, which is fine. I will send a follow-up video this year. That's fine. The truth is, I honestly didn't even want it this year. I wasn't really even ready for it. Like, it's totally fine. But I am excited to watch it. And honestly, the truth is, now that I realize I don't have to go on it this summer, I am relieved.
You can really take a deep breath now.
I can take it deep. I can sleep
Yeah.
again. I am relieved.
Caroline, guys, you guys don't know
So-
this, but Anthony constructed a replica of the wall in their basement, and instead of sleeping at night,
Yeah.
Caroline has been practicing.
I've been practicing.
Her upper body strength
I'm
is insane.
exhausted. It's insane. You can't see right now, but I'm jacked. So anyway, I'm excited because Big Brother's coming, and we're gonna have that almost every night. We're gonna have those live feeds. Same time, we're getting the new Love Island.
They said the date is gonna be a little earlier, Big Brother, than it was.
Oh, fab. Well, I think it's usually June, right? So I mean, it's coming up, and then
How
we're also
much-
gonna have Love
How
Island.
much time do these contestants get? Like, how soon
It
can they call
depends.
you to go on?
They can call you in February. They can call, they can call you in February. They can call you in May. Like, they don't.
Man,
It can be any time.
drop everything now.
I know. So the truth is, I'm really not off the hook, but I just have a
Yeah,
feeling.
Caroline, don't sleep quite yet.
Yeah. So we've got those two, which are like great because we have them basically every
Mm-hmm.
night, and like I just feel good going into summer. And then we're gonna get Salt Lake. Will start coming probably in the fall, and that's gonna start heading at the same time. I'm guessing we'll get Rhode
And
Island.
Southern
We'll
Hospitality.
probably get Southern
that might
Hospitality.
be more January.
And then
potentially.
there's something else. Oh, Road Warriors, can we get real for a second? I want to talk about the massive effect stress can have on your hormones. And who better to talk about this than me, a certified stressed out girly?
It's true. Stress plays a huge factor in hormones, and between work and life and everything else, it's easy to feel totally out of balance, and we can't be the only ones.
That's where Happy Mammoth comes in. They offer a free 2-minute quiz that can help you uncover the root cause of your hormonal symptoms. It's super easy. Just answer a few questions about what you're going through and where you're at in life.
And the best part, after taking the quiz, you'll get a personalized recommendation to help balance your hormones and start feeling better. Y'all know we love Happy Mammoth, so obviously we took the quiz and it gave us personalized insights into what might be happening with our hormones.
You know, it's not a competition, Phoebe, but I finished the quiz in literally 30 seconds, so it couldn't be easier. Based on my symptoms, it seems I'm overflowing with estrogen, and their recommendation was, drumroll please,
Hormone harmony. Taking care of your hormones isn't just about feeling good right now. It's about investing in your long-term health. By taking the hormone quiz, you'll learn more about your hormone balance and can make small, intentional changes to support your body.
Whether it's with Hormone Harmony or another Happy Mammoth product, the quiz helps guide you towards solutions that work specifically for you. So, ready to start feeling like yourself again?
Head on over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with my code PrettyLittlePodcast at checkout.
That's happymammoth.com and use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for 15% off today. Bachelor in Paradise, which I will be tuning into because did you hear Hannah Brown I'm honestly shocked that she's the bartender. She just got married. This doesn't seem
I think
like
that had to be quite the check. Well,
I mean, it must
I
have
love
been.
when Bachelor Nation has these moments where they acknowledge that like she was the golden age, like
Yes.
she was their peak of.
I can't
lead.
imagine, like, this is such a smart decision for them. The Bachelor franchise is going through such a rough
It's
moment
been like
right now. I
5
feel
years.
like no
I feel like
one's
since
watching
COVID,
it.
it's
Like,
been like
yeah, we got really oversaturated with it during COVID. There was just too much of it,
And all
then
the
we got some
drama.
leads who just like
and
all the drama, and people have fatigue. They're tired of it. They're not interested in it anymore. It doesn't feel genuine.
that's another thing.
And
Social media really started to ruin the show.
It really did. And the thing is, like, it was around when during Hannah Brown's season.
It just
like,
wasn't.
In fact, some of the most iconic social media queens came out of that season. You know what I mean?
I feel like it was like after her season, I feel like is when it really shifted into
Took a
like
turn.
that's when it was like
That was,
because
like, the
Tyler
peak.
Cameron, like we got all these and like because she was on
We got the
Colton's
greats.
Colton season, and then Becca was before that.
Mhm.
I would say that like
Yes.
those
Which we were into.
that's when it started.
I would say the
like,
Becca season
climbing.
started getting people excited. Honestly, no, I'm going to start it at the Nick Viall season
Yeah.
because that was Corinne. And Corinne was such a massive, like, we had started getting characters that people were like, I want to know about them. And then after that, it was, I
Rachel.
believe, Rachel. And that was our first Black
And
Bachelorette.
amazing.
She was
We had
fabulous.
that great storyline
loved
with Peter,
Rachel.
and like the
Yeah,
who
and
are
up
they gonna
until
pick?
recently, it looked like she
I
and
know,
Brian.
so
Yeah, it looked like
sad.
she and Brian were gonna be like whatever. That's where we got Dean.
Yeah.
Like we got a lot of really good characters out of that. And then moving from there, who was the next Bachelor?
After Rachel, it was
Uh-huh.
it Colton? No, he was Becca.
Was
So
it-
whose season was Becca on?
Eric?
Okay, Juan
Was
Pablo,
Eric the Bachelor?
Andy, Chris Soules.
I'm looking it up.
Who was the Bachelorette after Chris Soules?
Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got. Okay, here's what we got. Well, okay, Nick Viall. Was it Ari after Rachel? Because there wasn't anyone from Rachel's season.
Yes,
maybe?
it was Ari, and that's how we got Becca.
And that's how we got Becca, and we had the whole
Yes.
the first time that it ever happened,
that
the
was a game
breakup,
changer.
you know, with Lauren. So that was huge. And then
Colton, we had the fence jump.
and then we had Becca, and then we had Colton, obviously, and that was crazy. And then like we got so many good girls out
We
of
got
Colton's
Peter
season
out of
and
Hannah.
Ari's season. Yes, and Hannah. I mean, but the thing about Hannah's season was like it was still we still had that understanding of the social media landscape, and we're probably coming on here to be a little bit famous. And like
Jed.
the fact of the matter is, every single person who goes on a reality show at this point in time, that is part of it for them. Because the truth is, why else are you doing it?
That's why I think
And like now, it's like whether you want it
we
or not,
all-
it's coming with the territory. So you might as well just get on board.
we all
You know
got
what I mean?
so
Like
bored by that being like a point of conflict because it felt so disingenuous
Yeah.
coming from the
it was like
the
well,
people
of
who are
course.
bringing the drama of like you're not here for the right reasons.
Yeah,
It's like
who is?
yeah,
You know,
and
it's
you
just like
are like what are the right reasons then? I
Right.
don't know who this person. I'm trying
Right.
to fall in love and also
right.
get it.
It would be great. I think everyone who's there is like, yeah, it'd be great to fall in love, but
Which is
it
how
gonna
you should go
happen?
into the show.
Probably
Like,
not.
there's-
And am I gonna have a following when I leave here anyway? Yeah. So I might as well just like take
Right.
advantage of it. It's not gonna, whatever. So, but Hannah still felt so real and like still, she just was such. We were so worried about her. We were so worried about Hannah as Bachelorette. Remember, she did after the final
Right.
rose, they had her meet her first four or whatever. Oh, it was like she needed such insane media
that
training.
date with Colton.
Yeah.
That was where it was like, oh my god.
He was like, let's do
And
a
she
toast,
could
and it
not-
was her
She couldn't
birthday,
think
and
of
she
anything.
could not
And
think
she's
of
like a
anything.
pageant girl, so we were all shocked.
Yeah.
And then they picked her, and we were like,
Yes.
what? And then
And I honestly think it was because she really liked Colton and she was so
Yeah.
nervous.
And it was like,
Like,
her
I think
fir-
that's
it was
what it
also
was,
like one of the
know?
first moments. I feel like it definitely is the moment that stands out from that. But like it was one of the first times she got like an alone time with the camera in a way where she was like, this is gonna air.
And
like they're gonna see.
It
this
also
raw
was
moment.
tough because Kaylin Miller Keys was on there
they knew
and
each
she
other.
was like, hated Hannah, was talking about Hannah to Colton. So like Hannah going and understanding that. And now look, I mean, It's just wild. So anyway, I think it's such a smart move to bring Hannah as a bartender. I wonder if Wells like couldn't be there full time or something.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna
and so they're
look.
gonna split it, or if they'll be there together. But it'll be really nice to have a strong woman's perspective in that bar.
And also, she's so like no bullshit. Like I feel like she'll clock drama on the beach and be like,
she'll be like, you need to demand better treatment. Like
And she'll
she's
call
not
the
gonna be
men
afraid
out.
to like. Yes, and she'll have iconic like one-liners, and she'll be funny. And then I would love to see banter between her and Wells, where like they get in a little fight with conflicting advice.
I wish we could see more of an all-star. I mean, I know that a lot of people are now in relationships, but I do wish, I think a way to get people back like us who watched Bachelor Nation so religiously for so long is to try to find the single stragglers from like that era and bring them back. Because they did that for a while. Like
that would be
like
so
I feel like
cool.
I will watch Bachelor in Paradise, but I'm not gonna know who any of these people are.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like they try to bring back people, but they bring them back like one at a time. And unfortunately, the new people just feel like the shiny new toys. So I feel like they're always doing older cast members such a disservice when they bring them on to Paradise. Okay, so I know on the Patreon, or I think it was on our Met Gala episode, I don't know, but I was like kind of hard on Timmy for not going to the Met Gala with Kylie. But I've since learned a little bit more about the Met Gala couples curse, and now I'm okay with it. Now I'm okay with him not going. Maybe that's why they didn't go together. Are you aware of the Met Gala couples curse?
Up? Well, we have, of course.
Oh,
Shawn
yeah, I'm
Mendes
going to
and
read you a
Hailey
list
Bieber.
right now. I'm going to read you this list. Were they together? Like, did
We
ever
never
get
got
confirmation
information
on
about
that.
They just showed up at the Met Gala together, which is so fucking funny.
That was, and she had pink hair, and that
And
was
he
a
was wearing a
crazy
red
thing.
suit.
And we were all like,
we were like,
what? Like, I guarantee you, Hailey Baldwin did not know she was going to the Met Gala. Her hair would not have been pink. Like, she did not know. That was a, hey, I need someone to go with. Okay, so here are some of the couples that have gone and broken up. Like,
oh, right. I saw a
after the Met
video that
Gala.
I think people posted that they were like, here are all the couples that like are going to run into each
so
other.
I have like a screenshot of a bunch of them from an article. I'm only going to read the ones that like we really care about. Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. Never forget that. 2016. I remember their look. What? I don't know what the theme was, but she was in like it was like almost like cyber-y looking. Was that camp? No, that wasn't camp. That was 2017. Anyway, but we also have to remember the people that met there, you know, obviously Taylor and Joe.
She
right?
came with Tom.
And Taylor and Tom.
Did they meet at the Met Gala?
Did she go with Tom? No, they attended separately, but I think they were maybe dating. But she and Joe,
That's
think
when we got that
there.
video of, that was also the cyber year. We got that
Your
video
buzz
of them
cut
dancing.
and my hair
We got
bleached.
that video of Tom Hiddleston and Taylor like dancing like crazy in an area that didn't seem like a dance floor.
It was like the vibe. Yeah. I tried to forget that video. Thank you so much. All right. Selena Gomez in The Weeknd, 2017. Is that when she had the worst spray tan of all time?
I don't remember, but that was a crazy
Can you
couple.
imagine a time that's worse to have the worst spray tan of all time than the
No.
Met Gala? Anna Wintour is probably like, hey, Selena, don't sit down. Don't touch anything. Don't sit down.
I saw this tweet that was like when The Weeknd was accepted to be a member of the Academy, they were like, okay, Selena's going to get that Oscar one day. because
she fucking better.
The Weeknd is like, he's kind of like her Jay Gatsby.
Oh, is
That's what
he?
they say.
Why?
Why
Jay
he like kind of
Gatsby?
just pines over her. Like he's always gonna kind of be in love with her or a little obsessed with her.
We love to have that narrative about any guy that Selena's ever been with. We're like, and they'll never be over her.
I do believe it. Justin?
And then with Taylor, we're like he couldn't move on fast enough. Okay. Next, J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez. He's actually had 2 breakups after the Met Gala. Woof. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. So Kylie's not taking
no,
Timmy.
she's like, Tim, no.
She's like, you cannot.
I'll
come
go to your
with me,
little
and
event
we
later
cannot attend
where
separately.
they looked
I like
gorgeous. And also, I like whatever Timothy did that night. He looked amazing that night, I thought.
He is like such a good looking. He's a guy that would have like actually
Ruined your life.
ruined my life and college.
I feel like sometimes what he wears, he looks so skinny and like so little and young.
He's too, no offense, he's a little bit too thin for me. Like that would have been an issue. But those were always the guys that like ruined my life. There's something about you that I'm like
suit
obsessed
filled
with.
him out. I really liked how he did his hair. He looked really good with Kylie. Like the way they were,
Yeah.
I was like, they are like a couple, you know?
I want to know how he is with Stormy. Don't you? I would
feel
love
like
to
he's
see
such
how he
a,
is as like a daddy.
He's like a, I feel like
probably goofy as hell.
definitely. He's like Stormy's friend, not like stepdad.
Yes. Stormy's favorite movie is Willy Wonka. Would not put it past her. Okay. Haley Bieber and Shawn Mendes, Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse, 2018.
Man,
that was
and
a
I
tough
think that
one.
was a bad break.
That one
too.
hurt me physically.
You liked them a lot.
I didn't even like. Yeah, I did. I don't know why.
I liked them too.
I think I was just like
sweet.
I just wanted them to be. They seemed like a sweet couple. I liked seeing their updates on social media.
But I think he ended up
parasocial
sucking,
of
right?
me,
Like that ended up being really bad. I think
probably. Well, yeah. Then he went on Call Her Daddy and smoked a cigarette in the room, and I was like, oh,
you're
okay,
one of
good for
these
Lily.
guys.
Yeah. Grimes and Elon Musk, 2018. Woo. Miley and Liam, 2019. I mean, nothing hurts worse than that.
Miley and Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God!
Well,
I forgot
I don't know if they
that.
went to the Met together, but that was one of the couples that
dated.
was like couples that are going to see each other at the Met, and it's like them.
Wow. Okay, 3 more. Shawn Mendes on the list again for Camila Cabello, 2021.
When are
powerful ones from 2022 though? Are you ready for this? Phoebe Bridgers and Paul Mescal, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson.
And that was such a year.
Both of
That's
them.
where we got that picture.
That was such, and that was my wedding year. Famously, you're welcome.
You know that
was
picture
such a year.
of Paul Mescal and Phoebe Bridgers where they're standing on the stairs. It's a picture of Daisy Edgar Jones, but you see Paul and Phoebe in the back. And Paul is smiling like so wide-eyed at Daisy Edgar Jones, and Phoebe's looking at Paul.
Ah! Okay, you're not at that scene in Girls yet, but that is that scene in Girls.
I watched, guys.
You watched a lot of Girls yesterday. Thank God.
Last night I watched an episode of Girls where they meet Desi. That's his name, right? Cousin from the bear, and I actually, Caroline, I had to pause the episode when Marnie comes back from the bathroom and starts singing with him because I was laughing. I was like,
oh, Phoebe, if you think that's bad, dude, like you can't even imagine how much worse it's gonna get for Marnie.
Also, she just gets so mean. Like when Ray like she's ends things with her. She goes, is this just some way for you to like project and like finally be mean to the girl who was mean to you in high school? Like reject the girl who rejected you?
As fuck.
She's like, well, it's not gonna happen.
As fuck.
Well, it's not gonna happen. You think I'd be eating pizza here if I wanted to date you?
Oh my God. Yeah, she's
cruel.
Horrible. She needs therapy so badly. She's never gonna get it. But she needs it
this
so
fictional
bad.
character. She's never gonna get it.
She's never gonna get it, but she needs it so bad. So anyway, maybe that's also why we didn't have Bradley show up with Gigi, even though they are fully publicly.
Oh, I wanted to say
together. What do you think about Gigi and Brad? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I'll answer that. I don't really have an opinion at this point. I'm like, I think I like it enough. I like them both individually for the most part. So it's like, but I do think. But at this point, for a while, I was like, I don't know how long. First of all, I didn't believe it for a while. And then also, I was like, well, I don't think this is really going to last. But now it's been a while. So I guess we're here. Also, I loved the joke in Girls last night that was like, Adam, or someone was like, are you afraid Adam's going to leave you for Sutton Foster or something? And I was like, whoa, that's a premonition.
God.
That's a premonition.
That's crazy.
But what I was going to say was one more thing about the Blake Lively everything. I wanted to mention, I just want to remind everybody that like the internet right now is choosing to forget the way that a lot of people talk about Anna Kendrick. You guys think she's mean too. So I don't know where this is coming from, where you guys are like, Anna, we see right through it. Like we see you, girl. It's like, first of all, I haven't seen a single video where they look uncomfortable with each other. They actually have great chemistry, and I feel like
that's Anna's whole personality. She's very dry.
I've seen with them, they look like they're like laughing their heads off, like they're having fun with each other, and all the comments are like, "Wow, how much is Blake paying Anna for this? Nothing.
I know.
She's not paying her anything for this. You guys are deluded. You guys are actually brainwashed, and it's crazy. And also, you guys would hate Anna Kendrick if she was doing this."
Yes.
So like
1,000%.
you guys, it's always been that rumor that Anna Kendrick is so difficult to work with and so mean and so cold and all these things.
Yes, when it serves their narrative, they just like completely forget that, and they're like,
anyway,
I think it's crazy
for a
too.
While, so I just needed to say that.
Good. I'm glad you did. I'm really glad you did. Okay, let's talk a little bit reality TV, and I want to talk about Summer House and Lexi.
Yes.
So here's the deal, guys. Like, I hate the way this is. Phoebe and I talked a little bit about this off the record. I am just hating how it's becoming like Lexi and Sierra are against each other when like
Jesse's the villain.
Jesse is the whole reason we're in this situation. Like, and Phoebe made a good point. She was like, I mean, Sierra's allegiance is to Jesse. Like, they've been friends with him longer.
Even though
but
Sierra
I'm also
is
just
so
like
mad at Jesse right now, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, as she should be. Jesse, in what world do you say to somebody, especially somebody who looks like Sierra, that you just said that to make her feel better? Like, men are a plague on this earth. That is fucking bonkers.
So I do,
that
like,
he said that. He just can't do anything right in my eyes.
He sucks. He sucks so badly. It's terrible to watch. A couple things just quickly to get out of the way, because I am like pretty firmly team Sierra on everything, but a couple critiques of Sierra I have from this week's episode are the getting up from the table while West is talking about his friend who died. I did not. I understood what she said in the confessional a bit of like, it's bringing up that time where like she's remembering how close they were and how she was there. I understand that, but you did not need to. Then don't hug him. No. Just stay at the table, because now you've completely shifted the tone of the dinner now, and it's like awkward for everybody, and it's already clearly like, awkward for him to be emotional and like open up about this. Yeah, I just think that was the bad move.
I do too. I think it makes it about her. Yeah. Like, it now the whole moment becomes, why did Sierra just get up? Everyone, like, did she really think no one was going to acknowledge it? Like,
whereas it could have just been,
you know, she could have even said it, from what I saw, she said nothing. She could have been like, I'm sorry. And like, even something like that, I think would have really helped. I have to go. Like, something like that. But it just seemed like everyone was like, okay. And it just, and I find that I think is sometimes like Sierra's kryptonite, is she's just misunderstood sometimes. Like, she like says things, does things, and they just read a completely different way than she meant it.
And what sucks also, I think, is that and it becomes clear in the preview for next week that like Lexi is being fed a narrative about who Sierra is. Yes. And Sierra's not necessarily, not that it's her responsibility to offset what Jess and West are saying. What Jesse and West are telling her. It's not Sierra's job to do that, but I am like, you aren't giving her reasons necessarily to not believe what they're saying about you, and this is an instance of like Lexi seeing that, and now she's like comforting Wes, and it's just like putting a wedge further between them, and I think that's tough. Absolutely. Another thing that I was like, Sierra, I don't know if this was the right move, was when it was Amanda, Lexi, and Sierra in the room. I think Lindsay was in there too, and they were talking about Lexi's week with Jesse. And Lexi like explains how they're moving forward and all this stuff. Yeah. And then Sierra just like starts ranting about how much Jesse sucks. I was just like, time and place a little bit. Like, I just don't know if Lexi's clearly not gonna hear it the way that you want her to. Yes. Go rant to Paige about it, because
I just feel like there doesn't need to be this. Even when Lindsay walked in when Sierra walked in the room and she didn't know Lexi was in there, and it was like that weird moment of her. I think it's the same moment we're talking about right now, where she like, or no, it's not, because you're saying that was with Amanda, but I'm thinking about the moment with Lindsay where Sierra comes in and she's got a cocktail and she's like, hey, I didn't know you were in here. She doesn't drink. I would have brought you one, but I didn't know you were in here. And then she like doesn't want to leave immediately. So she like fixes Lindsay's pillows, like whatever. She plays in her Sierra for a minute. And then I feel like she kind of started talking about it. And I just,
maybe it was that moment. Then. I thought Amanda was in the room, but I might have been thinking it was Lindsay.
Because I remember seeing Lindsay like kind of watching and listening to like she's laying down and Lexi's talking, and Lexi's like hearing statements. She's like, yeah. And, I just feel like, again, the awkwardness doesn't need to be between Lexi and Sierra, but it's so true, because Lexi is being spun this web of lies by Jesse, this story by Jesse, and then Sierra's also getting a story from Jesse.
And she has every especially after last week with the arm thing, and Jesse's like, it's not me, like saying you can't touch my arm. Yeah. And Sierra's like, really? And like, so I understand. Right. Sierra's also being fed this narrative that Lexi like is so threatened by Sierra and their relationship, and that would bother me if I were Sierra, and I would be like annoyed with Lexi. And also there's probably part of Sierra, I don't know if it really comes through a lot, but subconsciously she might be a little bit of like protective of Lexi, and like, I don't want what I know what it did to me last year when like I was screwed over by these guys, and I don't want that to happen to you, but Lexi, number one, isn't really open to hearing it entirely. And also
Yeah.
Sierra's like, well, it's not my place to like really step in.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a part of Sierra, and we talked a little bit about this off record as well, but like I think there's a part of Sierra that likes this relationship with Jesse and what that might do to West. And like I don't blame her for that. Again, like I don't blame her for that. And what we need to remember also is that like Lexi and Sierra don't have to be friends. No. And so now we're at a point where hindsight's 2020. We're watching what has happened. We're seeing the lies of Jesse. And it seems like Lexi's like fully understanding like that she was duped and she was put in the situation, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I can't really tell like what the vibe is with her and Sierra now, but it's clear that Sierra and Jesse are still super tight. They're still like, they're posting a lot of bait, you know, on purpose, which like good for you guys, like play into it. That is part of being on a Bravo show is that you do that. But then it continues to drive a wedge between Sierra and Lexi again, which is fine. I think they could be friends at this point now that they're both like, oh, we were both lied to by this guy, but they were never friends. So Sierra doesn't feel the need to like, now I can be friends with Lexi. And so I just think as much as Lexi might feel that Sierra should, and so she's mad at Sierra for not. And it's like, well,
we're just forgetting
you know, Sierra and Jesse were actually friends. You and Lexi were not friends. So it's like,
I mean, it's
exactly
just, it's like fucking Jesse.
It's Jesse. We should all be putting all of our anger towards Jesse, not towards Sierra,
lives.
not towards Lexi.
Yeah, I don't.
Absolutely.
Lexi is a little though, and I understand this because I feel like Jesse's like probably feels like her only ally in the house, like her only like which would be a really scary position to be in because he sucks. But I think that she hasn't done a whole lot of work in trying to like figure out like.
To be in the house.
Yeah. To like build the relationships herself outside of what Jesse's telling her. And I think that is raising issues. And that's also probably part of why Sierra is not super interested in like showing up for Lexi or like doing certain things because she's like, well, I mean, she hasn't made any effort with me. Like, what has she done?
Well, and Sierra, we know this is who Sierra is. She's a closed off person. She is more guarded.
And if this is how the relationship, the friendship could start with like her changing her relationship with someone she's already friends with, then like that's not a good foot to lead off on.
Totally. Are you watching The Valley?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I am loving it. I'm so in with The Valley now. What do we think about like, okay, so obviously we've got this divorce between Michelle and Jesse that is so
that poor kid
contentious. I need to say something. I'm sorry. The two of you should be ashamed of yourselves going on national television and saying, I know the exact moment that our relationship ended. It was 3 years and 9 months ago. They said that last season when they were in couples counseling. And that is exactly the age of their daughter, Isabella. And I just think like Isabella's going to watch this one day and realize that the only reason her parents aren't together anymore is because of her. It's what they keep saying. They're like, everything was great until we had a kid. And then encouraging these other people like Kristen not to have, don't have this baby. It's going to ruin your life. It's going to ruin your marriage. That poor fucking kid who one day is probably going to watch this and
what was
see
that thing that Jessie
what her parents were doing.
Said to Michelle. It's like they keep showing it as a flashback when he's like, you're a terrible mom, or like, you don't.
She says, you told me that you don't care. You don't give a fuck that I'm the mother of your child. And he says, no, I didn't. And she goes, yes, you did. I swear on my life that my mother's life that you did. And he said, well, you swore on Isabella's life that you didn't cheat on me, and you did. So, which also, I'm sorry, that's crazy. Like, I think they're both like crazy.
Jesse, I'm definitely more prone to dislike the man in the relation in these kinds of relationships.
Yeah,
but Michelle. If you did cheat, like I'm just, and especially if you cheated with this guy, like who has been in your circle, like that's so fuck. And just the way that she talks it, like when they were at the white party and the way she's talking about getting custody of Isabella, I'm like, why would, even if you hate him, what, like, and we don't know their lives entirely, but I just feel like it seems like they're in a space where it would be okay for him to be a parent in her life, and you should want your kid to have both parents present.
Yes, and Michelle has said over and over and over again, Jesse is a terrible husband, but he is an incredible father.
So it's like you're just
so she's aware of him being a good dad. But to be fair, he also is like bringing up the conversation of moving at the white party, like he is doing things, and he says in the confessional, yes, I'm doing things to piss her off. I am doing things to, so like, I can't imagine like a harder person to divorce,
Totally.
you know, if someone just like is gonna make it as complicated as it can possibly be. The way he's representing himself, and he's going back to the lawyer with like every single, and I think it's just like, I mean, if I didn't want to get divorced and my wife was divorcing me and cheating on me, I would maybe do the same thing. I'd maybe be super petty too. Like, it's not that I really blame him, but it's just so contentious there. And one other thing, and again, I don't want this to sound like I'm like super pro Jesse, because I'm really not. But I did think it was kind of crazy that when we're at Dave & Buster's, which by the way, Janet's Dave & Buster's thing is wild.
She's so fucking.
I thought you hated
Janet.
Janet.
I don't like her very much at all, but she is like, that was funny to me.
Yeah.
She goes, sorry, I love the way they edited that of Michelle sobbing at Dave & Buster's, going back and forth between that and Janet fucking winning over.
Yeah, and Janet's like, I'm at Dave & Buster's, I'm gonna have a good time. There's no crying at Dave & Buster's. And I'm like, amen to that, sister. I thought it was crazy though when Michelle is talking to everybody and they have this trip coming up, the trip that Jesse is hosting and paying for, and she says that she is going to she says he can't, what is it? He can't go on the trip, or he can't stay in the house. He has to get a different Airbnb if she's going to go on the trip. And so she's going to make everybody at Dave & Buster's vote on whether or not they want Michelle there or Jesse there. And the idea is if they both go, then Jesse has to get an Airbnb off the property. But Jesse is paying for the trip and paying for the house that everyone else is staying in. So she's like, you like, can't
Michelle,
stay in the
don't
house.
Go.
Yeah, like that. Or you get the Airbnb. She's like, well, I should get to be with my friends. And it's like, okay, but then you kind of have to pay for the trip.
Then
if you want to make those choices, like it's
for
like,
a house.
You know, so I don't, some of it is just, and I feel like if you're
like,
these
we
friends,
love, like last season,
which we're seeing, the friends are like, oh my fucking God. Like,
yeah, literally. But it's like, Michelle, if you really want to, like last year we had competing parties.
Yeah.
Like
have
a
party
an event and see who comes to
have a party. Let's do it. Throw a weekend, you know? I mean, you know the girls will come, except Kristen, who you don't even want there. So like, who cares? I'm really excited for Lala and Sheena to be on the show though, because I keep watching the after show and they're fully like on the after show. So I'm guessing they're coming any day now, and I'm really excited to have them back on my screen.
I'm excited to have Sheena back on my screen. I'm not super excited to see Lala, but that's fine.
Why?
I'm still mad at her. Like
she's
still. Well, I've never really been a Lala fan, but the way she acted in the last season of Vanderpump, I was just like, this is ugly, and this is like.
I did not like how she acted the last season of Vanderpump, and I kind of forgot.
Yeah,
which is good for her.
That last scene when she like goes off.
Oh yeah,
and then at the reunion when she's like, I made the finale.
Yeah, no, it was a bad season for Lala. I think it'll be good to see her here. I think she's gonna bring a lot of spice.
To have to get acclimated.
And
I think to have to like.
I am eager to see the way that I want to see Lala and Jesse like go toe to toe. Like I can't wait for that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fabulous. So. I don't know. I am loving the show. I think it's great. Really, really, really fucking good. I don't know. I'm loving it. All right. Do you want to do our rotations?
Yeah.
All right. You are on Dream.
I'm on Dream. Let me think. Okay. Number 1 is the soft serve that I had on Friday from a new. Actually, I want. It's actually pretty good food, but it's right down the street. It's like a block up from where you and Mom are staying.
Ooh, so you want to go?
Y'all are in town, and Mom
loves the soft serve.
So I'm thinking maybe we could go. It's not, but I don't know if I really want to go there to eat. Even though the food was really good, it's just we might be able to get better.
Yeah,
food
we'll get soft
elsewhere.
serve for sure.
But that soft serve was fire. It was like a taco restaurant. It's so cute. It's pretty new.
Did you do like a twist, vanilla? Like what's your order?
No, it's just vanilla with sprinkles.
Yum. Rainbow?
It's
chocolate?
not like it's rainbow. No, there weren't options.
Well, I'm just asking. Vanilla. I don't know what's there.
Yeah, just a little vanilla with rainbow sprinkles.
Love that.
And it was delish. And then next is my new record player. It's been a game changer. It's been getting me up in the morning.
If you want to hear more about this, go listen to our Patreon episode from last week. By the way, if you want to hear about our trips and the Brat Tour and all that, that's all on the Patreon episode from last week for all paid members. So $3.
Yes. It's been making me read because I can't watch TV while I listen to music, but I want to use the record player, so I have to like do something.
Love that. Yeah. Player. I'm kind of surprised I can't really read and listen to music that well.
I can't listen to I have to be specific about which albums I listen to, but yeah. It's working for me. It's great. I have like it's the first time I've ever had a record player set up with like real speakers, not like a Bluetooth speaker.
And
it's,
unfortunately,
like,
it does
the way
make
that
it better.
should be.
We were hoping.
Yeah. Yes. And last is going to be. Let me think. Shoshana from Girls.
Love it.
She makes me fucking laugh. Her talking to Jess's terrible friend from rehab.
Oh my God.
And he goes, "Are you on coke?" And she goes, "No, but I get that all the time."
Oh my God, I forgot about the terrible friend from rehab. Wait, so that
I'm just like watching that and I'm just like,
no, it's
Jessa.
it's so hard to watch.
When she steals the money from, I'm like, okay, great.
I know.
Okay, Jessa's gonna end up fucking in the clinker.
It's horrible.
That's not, I think, something that people call jail, but I
you just did.
called
But
it
you
that, the
just
clinker.
did. Girls is just so good. The problem is though that you watched it so fucking slow and are still watching it so fucking slow that I don't like remember
Right.
every line of the show. And so Phoebe will send me like that moment when blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's not like a big enough moment for me to be like, oh yeah, I've seen this regurgitated on social media a million times. I remember it. No. And then she'll also send me like just random lines. She won't say who said it. She won't give me any context. It'll just be a quote, and I'm like, this could be literally anything. And then I'll like try Googling it. And it's like, this is the most obscure sentence you've ever sent. I'm like, great. So she paraphrased because it's not showing up. So anyway, I need a little more context.
Guys, I couldn't believe Patty LaPone was on
Oh my
it.
God. That is a treat, isn't it?
Like,
That
what was
one.
that conversation?
And honestly, well, didn't you see it? Did it already happen? Has she only been in one episode?
No, I mean, what was the conversation?
To get her on the show?
Yeah.
How funny was
That's what I
their
mean.
conversation though?
But I also love that like this has sent Hannah into such a spiral of like, fuck.
Yes.
Adam's on Broadway now.
And
I love how Andrew Rannells is like so excited to know someone who's on Broadway. And he's like, well, like normally, like, I mean, 2 afters is like probably like a good amount.
Yes.
Like after. And Adam's like, I don't really want to like be in this scene. And Elijah
I was like the
cannot
worst theater
believe
guy
it.
you've ever met. Literally.
Elijah's like, what do you mean? You don't want to
I live
he's
and
like, I don't
breathe
want to
and
be a part
die
of
for
like
this
really any scene.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so all right, my rotation. It's more a theoretical rotation this week, but that's fine. All right, first up, you know when you are like, okay, you're somewhere, whatever, and your phone is playing music and you want to turn it down, but you accidentally hit the up button and then you floor it on the up button, and so the volume goes all the way up, and then you're like in the loudest, or like this happens to me sometimes, so like, I don't know, I'll be in the car and like I'll have CarPlay and my phone's volume is also controlling the car volume. And so I'll be like, oh, it's not turning down when I do it this. So I'll go try to turn it down on the phone, and then I'll accidentally blast it because I'm not actually looking.
This really is a theoretical location.
But you know what I mean? Have you experienced this phenomenon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it actually sucks. I hate when I think I'm turning the volume down and I turn it absolutely all the way up. Because then it's so loud, everyone's looking at me and everyone's like, ow, my ears hurt. And I'm like, sorry, how do you think mine feel? How do you think mine feel? I'm right here. Oh, you know what? I also did it in a car on a road trip. I had headphones on. Can you imagine anything worse? It's painful because it doesn't just go down. Well, I wasn't driving. I had headphones on. It doesn't just go down right away. You have to wait a few seconds for it to actually register that you want it to go down all the way. So it stays. Oh, God. All right, so that's the first thing. And what I wrote here was, and this has been on here for weeks, by the way, because we have obviously not recorded a rotation in a little bit. But what it says is when you try to turn the volume down, but it goes up and it's like, no, that's what I wrote. So you guys know what I mean. Okay, next up is photographs and videos. Specifically moi. Specifically me from the past. Okay, different versions of me that like make me actually unwell in the head. I don't want to see the pictures of videos you have of me from college, from high school. Like, you can show me pictures of me when I'm single digits or never. Okay, because I don't need to see how much better and younger I looked. I don't need to see the light still in my eyes. I don't need to see outfits that don't fit me anymore. I don't need to see it, especially a video. For some reason, a video is worse because you get the different angles and it's like, oh my God, that's what I used to look like from that angle. I know what I look like from that exact angle now and I actually hate it. So photographs and videos. And then finally is this new cocktail list. And do I dox this place?
No, but I will say Maddie said she's obsessed with it.
I went to a restaurant last night, and this is a restaurant that like I've been to hundreds of times. Phoebe's been to hundreds of times. when we went, Anthony and I were talking about it. We were like, oh my God, when the Bombshells were here over Christmas, we went there and they loved it so much.
It was fire.
And when they come back, they're going to want to go there. And we're not going to be able to. They changed everything about this place,
is like a
but not
staple
that
of our
much.
childhood.
Yeah, our parents
this
are like
place.
are like embedded in the
parents-
history of this place.
This used to be their old
This
party
was the
grounds.
freaking watering hole. Okay, this was the Connell
Yes.
family watering hole for years.
I knew that when I got home from school at 3:30 p.m. on a Friday night.
Yeah, that's
in about an hour, my dad's down.
my
down
dad's
there at
saying,
the
"Let me know
bar.
which one to bring back. I don't have to go, but unless I want to." And when you're there, they've got pictures of just every random person on earth on the walls. Like it's like the craziest gallery wall you've ever seen in your life. Like whatever. So this cocktail list, I was like, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll get a drink. All right. I want to read you some of these cocktail descriptions. This one's called the Collector's Edition. Tart, sassy, and herbally dramatic, like a garden party gone rogue. So what's in it? Phoebe, what kind of liquor would you think is in that? Tart, sassy, and herbally dramatic, like a garden party gone rogue.
I mean, maybe like a whiskey.
Okay, you're right. It was a bourbon. But I thought that was crazy, like that it doesn't say anywhere there. Tart, sassy, dramatic, that's something that someone would order and like not expect it to be a bourbon, okay? Next up, silent awe. Floral, light, citrusy. A sip so
Good
fresh
gin.
will leave you speechless. I don't know. I literally had to ask the waiter about I was like, so what's in this? What's in the hashtag be passionate? Sweet like honey, stings like a bee. Spicy, smoky, and full of passion. I mean, I'm assuming that's probably like a spicy marg, but every single one of them was just like didn't have any description of like anything that was in it.
That's crazy.
What if I'm allergic to something? And it was like,
I'm sorry.
all these
It's just
cocktails.
what's crazy to me is that there is a bar very close by to this bar who is doing a very similar thing incredibly well, like very well, and in a way that has been really good in the community. It's been received really well.
Wait, listen to this one. La Vie 74 Spritz. Fruit forward, a little nutty, and full of sparkle. Basically, an alumni reunion in a glass. Hashtag we are Penn State.
What?
I know. I was like thinking, oh, it's going to be a light spritz. And then they say a little nutty. I'm like, what the fuck? It's an alumni reunion in a glass? That sounds horrible.
And then it's a Penn State? Like,
Yeah,
I know we're in
I would
Pennsylvania,
drink
but
that.
it's like, what?
I know. Every drink was like, I literally was like, so what's in this? He's like, bourbon. I was like, okay, and then what's in this? And I was like, you know what? I don't want to ask you every single drink. I'm not trying to quiz you, but like, I can't be the first person who's asking.
No,
I was so bothered
I
by
just
it.
think I know that they obviously changed what they were doing because something about the last place wasn't working, but I do think that we could have workshopped the vibe of the last restaurant a little bit more to get it to work. A restaurant up the street recently did that. They aren't trying to be anything that they're really not.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is that the response of these restaurants that have been around for a really long time, the response of them to said cocktail bar I'm talking about has been, well, we have to change everything we're doing for some reason to do what they're doing. And it's like, no.
Right.
Do your own kind of thing.
Right.
And like, but just do it better. Give it a fresh take.
Exactly. So anyway, that's it. That's my rotation. Guys,
Nice.
thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to listen on Thursday to our recap of season 7, episode 3 of Pretty Little Liars. We're so happy to be back on the regular schedule. There's no Patreon episode this week, but there was one last week and there will be one next week. So make sure you are joined and tuned into those as well. We love you so much. Thank you for listening and we will see you next week. And
And
splart.
splat.